Nick, you remember the movie Rocky?
No.
Nick, you remember the movie Rocky?
No.
Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Okay, it involved an unworthy underdog getting a non-title match against the defending champion, Apollo Creed. So what we have here is kind of an automotive equivalent.
In one corner, we have the 2018 Mercedes-Benz C300, and in the other corner,
The 2018 Genesis G70 all-wheel drive.
this C300 is fully loaded. It's about $56,000 as tested, versus what, 53 for the Genesis?
52.
So they're very close in price and in spec. Both have 2-liter turbo 4s. Both have automatic transmissions, except this one's a 9-speed, the Genesis is an 8-speed.
Both are all-wheel drive.
And they both compete in the very same segment. They're both sports sedans. Let's get this out of the way and go for a drive.
Well, dude, we find ourselves in the 2018 Genesis
G70 Prestige.
Prestige. Ooh.
The top of the line version for the 2-liter turbo motor.
I see you have some sort of an active park assist system here. You have a 360-degree camera.
Heated seats, of course. Ventilated seats. Heated back seats. Heated steering wheel.
Nice.
All nice little features.
Ergonomically, at least up front, it's a home run.
Absolutely.
Now, out back, that's where things start to get a little iffy.
If I try and sit behind myself in the Mercedes, it's cramped, but doable. If I try and sit behind myself in the G70, it's impossible. I can't do it.
Yeah, that looks pretty tight back there.
It's tight. And the one thing I do like is that all the buttons and things are well marked, easy to see, easy to use. It's more about the comfort, it's more about the ride. I think you could drive all day in this car and feel fairly comfortable at the end of the day. So here we are in the C300 format.
The backseat is more comfortable, and at least personally, I find the graphics of the infotainment system better, even though it is missing basic stuff like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and satellite radio.
I'm not the biggest fan of the touchpad and the rotary knob.
There's a learning curve.
Well, it's finicky. It requires just the right touch, and the controls that you see on the center screen, they're just not as user-friendly as you will find on the G70.
Another thing that takes a bit of getting used to is the gear selector being here on the steering column as opposed to the G70's more normal
Center console
shifter.
As you've said, it comes down to which car is the better buy versus the better car. I don't think it's that complicated. I think one of these cars is the better car and the better buy.
The better car is the G70. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, it just does most things better and at a less expensive price than the Mercedes. Is it the smarter buy? And this is where Nick and I are going to disagree, because it comes down to cachet. And I know it shouldn't, but there are people out there who will say Genesis isn't a luxury brand. You can't compare it with a Mercedes. You can't compare it with a Lexus. You can't compare it with any of the traditional luxury brands.
You know, that's not to say the C300 doesn't have its merits.
Oh, hell no.
It's stylish,
Very.
smooth, and it certainly lives up to the badge and the price on the inside. And yet the G70 meets, if not exceeds, the C-Class on most of those levels. At the end of the day, there's only one clear winner here, and that's the G70.
The G70. For Driving.ca, I'm Brian Harper.
And I'm Nick Trejanis.